Hi, it's Maria Harris here from Modas Consultancy. I'm with a very special lady today who's dedicated her life to helping other people. Her name is Patricia White, and she's a member of the Modas Executive Group. And without further ado, I'm going to now introduce you, and she's going to tell you all about what she does. Hi, Patricia. Welcome.
Hi, hi Maria. Thank you so much for this fantastic opportunity to talk to you.
Well, you've got a fantastic business, and I want you to tell everybody exactly what you do.
Thank you, thank you. So I'm the CEO of a charity called Suited for Success. We're based in Birmingham. It's a central area of Birmingham, an area called Hockley, Ladywood. And what we do is we help and support people to regain or gain the dignity of employment. And the way we do that is by providing free interview clothing and interview preparation skills to help unemployed men and women get the job that they really want and make that first impression count in a job interview.
Yeah, I have a lot of passion about your business. I've been in recruitment and employment for many, many, many years, since the 80s. So something like this is just fantastic. And I think it's wonderful what you're doing. And I applaud you for doing it. And I would have certainly,
Thank you.
told the people that was going for interviews to get down to see you as well. So how did you get involved with all this? And what did you do before?
Oh well, I mean, my story is really varied. I mean, I've started out, well, I didn't start out, I had a long career in different things, from hairdressing to customer service to restaurants. So if I start talking about my whole career, then people start guessing my age, and we don't want that. And but no, most recently, I was a journalist for the BBC. I had a fantastic 10-year career at the BBC as a journalist, worked for regional TV and local radio, so BBC WM and Midlands Today. If people are from the Midlands, they'll be familiar with. And after a fantastic career at the BBC, hearing people's stories, going out and about in the community, seeing some of the fantastic work that charities and community groups were doing in the community, I had such a passion. I was always out and about. People would always see me with a microphone or a camera in my hand and talking to various people at different carnivals and community events and things like that. And then the BBC were doing redundancy, sadly, about 10 years ago now. And I took redundancy because I thought I'd like to try something new. I'd like to be out and about in the community and helping to tell those stories, but also be part of those stories and do some fantastic work. So I moved into community work. So I took a couple of years out, a gap year out, took redundancy, had some pay, and so I was able to take the gap year. And and I started to look at reskilling around community work and community project work, and did various fantastic community projects across the city. And then Trestle Trust Food Banks started to come on the scene at that time. Food banks weren't well known at the time, but then there was a big shake-up in welfare, and there was a big welfare reform, and the job centres had stopped being able to give people grants and things like that. So people were really starting to see the effects of that. And one being that people were unable to put food on the table, and really struggled with that. So I got to know the Trestle Trust. I thought they were a fantastic charity. So I set up the first Trestle Trust Food Bank in Birmingham. So there's about 10 or 12 of them now, but at the time there was none. So ours was the first one, Birmingham Central Food Bank. So ran that for a few years. Fantastic, amazing. It was amazing to be able to work with businesses and individuals in the city that were passionate about food poverty as well. It was almost like people were saying, how can this be that people are going hungry in our city and in the UK when there's a shop on every corner stocked full of food? So it's fantastic to be able to work with others to make sure people in our local communities weren't going hungry. But at the same time, our team were thinking, well, why are people going hungry? Why are people struggling to put food on the table? So when speaking to customers, the biggest reason that would come up is unemployment, and people really struggling to find work. And many of the time you'd see people in the food bank and you'd look at them and think, you are simply not prepared for work, in terms of their grooming, how they looked. They couldn't afford clothing, so they were using clothing banks and things. So then I thought, wouldn't it be fantastic if we were able to support people with interview clothing to go for job interviews and things. And then thinking that, I was approached by a group of young professionals that were part of a CSR project that approached me with the idea of Suited for Success. So it was meant to be, really. It was fantastic. It just all came together. So we'd worked with like corporate law firms and banks in the city. Lloyd's Bank were a big part of it at the time. Gowling, WLG, PricewaterhouseCoopers were involved. Various law firms, Anthony Collins was involved. So there was quite a few people involved, and we ran a pilot CSR project. It was a big success, and out of that pilot project came Suited for Success. So we're now a registered charity. So that was in 2015. So we're now a registered charity, been going since 2016, and here we are today.
Yeah, I think it's a fantastic story, I really do. So who are your customers typically?
Anybody who's unemployed. I mean, people think Suited for Success, because we're a charity. When you think of charity, you automatically think, oh, it's for those people who are maybe homeless or, you know, don't have any money or in poverty and things like that. But we support anybody who is unemployed, don't necessarily have to be on benefits. They haven't had to have this terrible background in order to be supported by us. We support anybody who's unemployed, and it is a free service.
Wonderful. And what other services do you provide aside from that?
Yeah, so we work with a range of referral agencies. So we work with job centres right across Birmingham and the West Midlands. We work with various charities. We work with Crisis the Homeless charity. We work with Safa Fireside, who are another homeless charity. We work with various women's charities like Bernardo's, various refugees as well that support women escaping domestic violence, and various hostels and things. So in terms of who's referred or who can use Suited for Success, as I'd mentioned before, anybody who's unemployed, but we do like to particularly support those agencies that are working with people that are experiencing complex barriers to employment and various challenges to employment. So there are certain client groups that we especially work with. We work with everybody, but we especially work with 3 client groups that we're quite passionate about, and that's the ex-forces, back to work moms, and people that have been in prison, have got convictions. And so we go the extra mile, and we do workshops, seminars, we do special coaching days, we do CV reviews and various pop-up events for those particular clients as well. So as well as your clothing and your interview coaching, we do go the extra mile and offering additional tools as well. So our strap line is more than just a suit, because people think, is that what you do? You just dress people. Yeah. And as you know, Maria, it takes more than just a suit to get through a job interview, doesn't it? So yes, that's what we do as well.
So where do you get your suits from? Where do they all come from?
Our suits, yeah, we get incredible donations of suits and smart clothing from our main source is offices do suit drives, so we get businesses that contact us. Just this morning I had a contact from Deloitte to say that, you know, they'd love to, we've got some suits in the office, we'd love to donate them to you. So various corporate businesses, it's a great way of getting staff involved, especially an office where they all dress smartly in suits and things. Your banks, your law firms and things like that, it works really well. So they do suit drives in their offices, and they'll collect clothing throughout the week, and then they'll drop the clothing off to us. Then also professional individuals that have had a clear out at home, and they've got suits and things in their offices they haven't worn in a while. We also have retailers that get in touch with us and say they'd love to donate to us some surplus stock and unsold stock that they have. Uniform companies as well are a great source of our donations, and everything that comes in, we make sure we go through it so it's the best quality clothing that we're providing for our clients. So anything that's slightly worn or torn, or even if it's outdated, you know, we don't use any of that. We only use the best quality clothing, because we want our clients to go for their job interviews feeling amazing, not just feeling good. We want them to feel amazing. So yes, we have some amazing donations.
It's amazing how generous people can be, isn't it?
Absolutely,
Um,
absolutely.
so you also need funding, don't you? Because you've got this brilliant shop. Really, is it a shop front? I haven't actually been to see you.
Yes, it's a two-story building and it's a shop front. So when people come into our centre, they walk in and go, "Oh my goodness, I didn't know what to expect, but I absolutely wasn't expecting this." So we've been likened to like Next or TK Maxx or, you know, some Mataland or some sort of store. And that's the impression that we wanted to give. We didn't want to look like a charity shop where you've got boxes and you kind of have a rummage and see what you can find. You know, everything's smartly dressed and on rails and things. And it's, again, giving the people that are sent to us or come to us that dignity that they so well deserve.
Absolutely. So where do you get, because obviously you have to have funding for that to keep it going.
Yes.
So how do you get your funding?
Absolutely. So we are charity. So like many charities, funding can be a challenge for us. So a lot of our funding comes from applying for grants and doing funding applications. We have regular givers as well. They're a great source of income, our regular givers, and we encourage regular giving because it helps us to be able to plan and develop our work, and also having that support is fantastic for us. And so yes, that's where a lot of our funding comes from. Fundraising events as well. So obviously in this climate we're unable to do any sort of fundraising events. We got our last fundraising event in just before the lockdown, which was the Saturday, and then the lockdown happened on the Monday, which was good for us. So it helps with bills and things like that. So that's where most of our funding comes from.
So we're coming up to harsher times now, where I think you're going to be in more use, really. So how do you see that working? How do you see Suited for Success sort of stepping up to those times?
Yeah, I mean, we just want to make sure and communicate to people out there in these really challenging times that we're there. And we're not just there for people who have been long-term unemployed. You could have been working just before lockdown, you've recently lost your job, and we want to be there for those people as well, you know, and it is a free service, it's free of charge, whether it be interview coaching or whether it be the interview clothing. You know, you don't have to come to us and tell us that you've been on benefits for such a time and things like that. We're here to help everybody. So we want to just be there as a resource for people to use. There's going to be a lot of people out there at this time that have been in work for a long time, have gone from job to job to job. So probably the last time they updated their CV has been several years ago. And also going to an interview, even video interviews, which are going to be very, very common. It's going to be a challenge for people. So we're there as a resource to come and practice, come and have a chat with us, have a bit of coaching. All of our volunteers are either from a professional field or they are trained stylists or trained by Suited for Success. So we've got interview coaches that own their own businesses, we've got HR consultants, we've got HR managers, various senior managers from various businesses across the city who volunteer their time to help. And we want to be a platform to say, let's do this together, let's support each other, let's be in this together, and to get people back into employment during this time.
Brilliant. How do you see the future of Suited for Success and getting out there further to help more people in the country?
Yes, I mean, we regularly get asked, could we set up a Suited for Success up north or further down south? Because obviously we're central, and at the moment it's not part of our immediate strategy and plans to do that. Everything's virtual now, everything's digital, so we are looking at ways that we can further our reach online and digitally and virtually. But at the moment there's so much work to do in Birmingham and in the Midlands. Even before the lockdown, Birmingham was crowned the capital of unemployment in the UK most recently. So now you can imagine the employment statistics. So there's so much more work to do here in the city. So we're looking to be more accessible to people, do a lot of partnership working with people as well to say, look, how can we support, how can we help? This is what we do. We're a platform for people to come together and work together, whether it's businesses that want to offer recruitment and, you know, job opportunities, or whether it's working with training providers that want to work with us to provide an additional support to their clients. So we're really open to ideas around collaboration and partnerships as well.
And that's what it's all about, especially in these times. Networking, collaboration. It's amazing how well you can work and how much you can get things done by collaborating.
Yes,
so
absolutely.
Watching this and thinking, you know, I want to get involved. I want to get involved with donating or funding or volunteering. How can they get involved?
Yeah, so we have a website. If you have a look at us on our website, which is suitingforsuccess.co.uk, and I know it's included in the description of this video. First of all, have a look at the work that we do. We've got some great testimonials. We've got some great features of some of our workshop days and things that we've done over the years. And there's also information on there on how you can volunteer with us. We're always on the lookout for interview coaches that have had some experience regarding recruitment and recruiting individuals, and also people that are really into clothes. You don't have to have come from a styling background, but if you're really into clothing and fashion and things like that, you know, we'd really welcome more stylists at the moment to work with our clients, because even though we look like a shop, we're more of a personal styling service. So when people come to us, we dress and style people ready for the job interview that they're going for. And also, as well, as we've mentioned earlier, in terms of our income, we are looking for more people who will support us on a regular basis. You know, even if it was £10 a month, we have a form on our website where you can fill out and you can just sign up to become one of our regular donors, or just to donate to us on a one-off basis. We also really encourage any pro bono support as well. So if you're working for a business and you think, oh, you know, we could offer some pro bono support, a lot of what we've got here, if you were to see our centre, is all based on pro bono. You know, we've got some beautiful interview booths that were donated to us by a construction company, or our lighting had been donated pro bono as well. So we're really, at the moment, we're really desperate for air conditioning at our centre. So if anybody's out there that works in that kind of field, we'd love you to get in touch with us. Our centre is wall-to-wall windows, so you can imagine in the summer it's like working in a greenhouse. And so yeah, really do need some air conditioning at the moment. So any sort of financial support, whether it's as an individual or whether it's as a business that you think, okay, we would love to partner with Suited for Success financially and invest in our work, and you know, and donate to us on a monthly basis or a one-off basis, that would be really appreciated.
Good. Let's hope there's somebody watching this who's in the air conditioning field who might want to. Brilliant.
Absolutely.
Well, how can they get hold of you or get hold of you on social media? How can people contact you?
Yeah, so as I've mentioned, the website, there's all our contact details on there, our telephone number, email, and things. We're also on Facebook and Twitter and LinkedIn. So we are on Instagram, but we need to work on that. So we're all on all the social media platforms, so you can get in touch with us directly through them.
I think people have got a great understanding about what you do and how you're moving forward and where you get everything from. It's just a great story, and I really appreciate you talking to me today, Patricia, because the reason why I'm doing these is to obviously make people aware of yourself, but also helping people out there during these very sort of challenging times, really. So I really appreciate you talking to me. Thank you so much. I think you've got everything across, so we know exactly what you do. And if anybody wants to contact Patricia, then I'm going to put the link of her website in the comments, and then please feel free to contact her directly or on social media as well. So once again, thanks, Patricia. And
thank you, Maria.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.